Wolves.
Dangerous out beyond the clouds. The air is thick and the full moon is out.
Wolves is our first release for 2021, and I started writing it probably in the late spring, early summer of 2020, which we all know is the height of the pandemic. And, to say the least, to be honest, I was a little rattled by what was going on in the world. And normally, I do a bit of writing on piano and a lot of writing on guitar, but for some reason, I just didn't feel like picking up the guitar at that point. It just seemed like the everyday had been stunned and thrown. So to kind of continue on like nothing has happened, picking up a familiar instrument just didn't seem healthy, I guess. So I kind of dove into the piano. I play a bit of piano anyway, but not as much as I did during the pandemic because I felt I needed to switch gears. And I got a message from the Bill and Callie show, and they were going to do a benefit, food benefit online, and they wanted to know if I wanted to perform. And once again, to be honest, I just really didn't feel like I was in the right headspace. Other people had asked me to perform online as well, and I really didn't feel inspired, or I kind of felt a little down. So when they asked me, I know that Bill and Callie had come to see Chris and I play before at the Old Style Inn many times, so I kind of felt like, okay, this might be a way for me to break this chain that I'm in. And Cheryl kind of supported that and said, yeah, maybe you should go ahead and try it, switch gears a little bit. So I went ahead and dove into the piano and learned a bunch of songs that I had written that were on guitar for piano, which was fun. It kind of got my mind off things, and just re-exploring the keyboard again from a songwriter point of view, it kind of opened up some other things that I normally wouldn't have seen or heard. So anyway, I started messing around with piano, and as I was preparing for this show, different riffs and ideas came out. And I normally like to do that. Once a year in Valparaiso, they have a benefit show for WVLP, and I get invited here and there, amongst other people, to play a couple of songs. And I try to, when I do certain things like that, benefits and like one-off type shows, I do try to test myself a little bit and see if I can come up with something new for that show. It kind of gives me a deadline, so to speak, to kind of see if I can, diamonds are made from pressure type deal, see if I can come up with something under pressure. They may not always be good, but at least it's something to work forward to. So that's where this riff kind of sprung up from. It's just a little blues riff that I was messing around with as I was preparing for the online benefit show. And it's just kind of this. And really it's just like a little blues thing. But then I liked the C major, and it kind of took it to a different place. And then the chorus came in. And once I started to get the development of the song, I started to hear some other things as I was putting it together. Horns, backup vocals, which I've never done, pseudo female backup vocals like that before. It was fun. So yeah, that's how basically Wolves arrived.
Okay, some quick thoughts on the feel of Wolves. This pattern the dotted 16th, 32nd noting, it's not as tight as this, but this pattern lends itself well to, bouncing in between something that's, swing, shuffle, and then just hard driving eighth notes. Because when you're playing eighth notes, the pause pounding the earth, right? Doom, 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 1 and 2 and so you don't know it's syncopated there, but when the brass or the ghost notes come in later, and again, not as tight as that, but it's a very cool feel because you can bounce between the two. And for me personally, the pause pounding the earth was the eighth note drive, and then the song in general just has that the swing feel that gives it a nice groove when you get down to it. So given this pattern, was able to bounce in between both of those feels as it fit the parts in the song.
I decided to switch it up and go old school and grab one of my old tablets. Well, as I was looking through the archives of what I had, I found a small pocket notebook. It was probably about this big, just a little pocket notebook. And it was given to me as like a Christmas stocking stuffer by my cousin Shane. And, he just wrote in it, write down, use this to put your ideas in and write down some of your best ideas. I hope it works out. And as I was looking in it, I did discover there were 10, 15 pages of just thoughts and ideas and lines. And one of them was wolves. And I liked what it was kind of saying, even though I didn't know what I was writing it about at the time. But it kind of seemed to fit what I was kind of feeling, like a little bit hounded, if you will, by the whole pandemic experience. So I decided to take that lyric and start working on it and put it to the song, to the music. And in the end, it seemed to work out pretty good.
Okay, mixing the Wolves, mixing the song. Classic rock instrumentation, Hammond organ, guitars, bass, drums, piano, really a piano-led song, which I think is really cool. And mixing the instrumentation together, relying on a lot of the analog gear that's here, the old school analog stuff, led to a great sound. The snare drum, if you listen to it, very punchy in the middle with some nice stuff going on around it. Some great guitar work, really cool guitar solo from Mike Curtis on this one. And 3-ish minutes, right? And right into the point, but kind of an old school rock kind of a tune in the vein of 1970s Elton John, or really anything from that era that comes along that's piano driven like that. So really had a lot of fun mixing this one.